Hello everybody and welcome to one more video on big units. And this time it is a British Airborne Division for World War II, mostly for the end of course of World War II, comprising those operations that started in Tunisia and Italy, but mostly focused of course in what happened in Normandy with the 6th Airborne Division and of course obviously Operation Market Garden, the one with the 1st Airborne Division. What happens here is you have enough models to make one of them and a few assets here also that can be used whether in the 1st or in the 6th Airborne Division, like it is the case, for instance, of the reconnaissance groups. The rest is pretty much the same all along the 1st and 6th Airborne Division. There was still a 3rd division in the Far East, but frankly, it is not intended for that place, even if eventually one day I'll get there. Oh, 57 probably I will not get there. Okay, so you have here the organization of a basic division. You have 2 brigades of paratroopers, one here with triangular system of 3 companies, each battalion, another brigade here, and the beginning of an air landing division, which is in fact organized as an infantry unit, so with four companies, like in the British infantry. And looking at our Bibles regarding airborne actions, so you see the first campaign guide for Market Garden. Before that, chronologically, of course, it should have been this one. Here you can see some actions of the 6th Airborne. Here you see actions of the 1st. Then there is the new book on Market Garden, and you still have the Reloaded Extra with some rules. I can show you here at the beginning for paratroopers and paratroop figures and gliders also. Regarding this unit, this table filled with miniatures, the idea is to be able to portray what you see here around the end of the book, the Grand Manor game. Grand Manor game is this one here, and the idea is to fight, to refight the actions at Arnhem and Oosterbeek, where the 1st division ended up because they were surrounded by the Germans, and virtually all units of the division went into that kind of pocket. Many were killed, others wounded, but the majority was captured, and only a few, in fact, were able to get to the British lines. And this is why I only have one glider battalion, because as far as I can remember, I think there is 31 infantry, so-called companies, including the engineers in this big unit, in this division. But at the moment, I think I have 31 less 8. So I have 23? Yeah, I have 23 companies, which I think is enough, because this is Market Garden is a 9-day campaign. The pocket is made, of course, in the last part of the campaign, and up to there, the British had already suffered casualties, of course. I really can't find a detailed order of battle day by day in terms of number of men that were able to fight. So, and that translating to 115, I would be able to get a number of figures. But I mean, I think that probably the Airborne Division, the 1st Airborne Division, would be in this Arnhem Oosterbeek area. So at Arnhem would be the famous 2nd Battalion of Frost, of course, Frost's battalion, and to the south all other units at Oosterbeek, which is a kind of leisure area for the Dutch people, with very beautiful hotels and things like that. By the way, speaking about that, I have also the houses, main ones at least, from Arnhem and Oosterbeek in another video that I will post a link below, and also the German that are fighting this unit, especially those very cute little units of the Germans, and little vehicles, and some adaptations that they've made in terms of camouflage, in terms of models that they were not using. Some of them coming from NCO schools and coming from tank schools and things like that. So sometimes not proper for the end of 1944, for September on of 1944. So getting back to these numbers, so I think that I will be able to play the big grandmother game with what I have here. So the infantry is around what can I say, 4/5, a little bit more than that. So probably the British had already suffered some casualties. I don't know if they had already lost up to the formation of the pocket 1 battalion that would be here, or 2 battalions that would be over there. I mean, I don't know, not really sure. Maybe I'll do one more battalion, but not probably all of them, because all of them are not surely necessary. Even for Normandy, coming back a few months, also there is, of course, the famous action around the River Orne, nowadays called Pegasus Bridge, of course, and Café Gondry and those things. But in fact, the division that acts at Normandy, the 6th Airborne, is quite spread out. So, I mean, also making the full division at 20 millimeter size, I mean, it's a little bit, the 9 battalions of the division is a little bit too much, maybe. So I think 7, as this one has, is pretty reasonable, together with the engineer battalion over there. So now, artillery, for instance. Let's start with artillery. So there is the famous 17 pounders, which was in fact the heaviest guns that the Airborne carried. They're obviously Matchbox models, with Esci crews. So the paratroopers were turned into artillerymen with shells on their hands instead of rifles. So Stans and Lee Enfields were cut in order to have artillerymen. Also, the Morris that are towing the 17 pounders are also cut down versions, with a number of parts taken out from the original Matchbox kit, in order to have the airborne version. More artillery, for instance, this is the SHQ 75 millimeter howitzer, cute little piece. So everything is metal here. You have some jeeps, obviously, to tow the these M1 howitzers. This trailer here is not okay. This is a Ben-Hur trailer from the Airfix M3 Half-Track. I mean, I placed it here, being pulled by a jeep. Probably you wouldn't be able to drag this weight, but well, it's what I had on those days. Now I have a few more proper trailers, but well, these are done, so it will stay like this. The jeeps, most of them that you'll see across the table, there are some, I think some 15 or something like that jeeps. They are mostly the Airfix version, the Airfix model that comes with the LVT4 Alligator, and others are probably from native Fujimi, from Hasegawa, things like that. And they are all, of course, all transformed into the version used by the paratroopers, which has the relocated spare tire, and this one has some of them, I think I saw them with the windshield, but most of them don't have even the windshield. Let's try to focus, sorry. And then plenty of course, of extras to give them a airborne look. Okay, more of them here. More artillery in the form of 6-pounders. Again, jeeps from several plastic brands. There are more 6-pounders over there. And these 6-pounders are complete scratch-built things. I just scratch-built them. I use most of my 6-pounders in British Army, in the American Army, for the desert, etc. So I just scratch-built a number of them. These 6 are all scratch-built, with, of course, with crews from the Esci set. Okay, here they are. They are reasonable, at least. They look like 6-pounders. These ones are slightly better. I made them more recently using some extras by PSC, namely the barrel, and wheels. But the rest is everything scratch built. And some of the figures are also SHQ in these two here. Brigade command, you have SHQ models here. 4D Jeeps with the proper trailer, as you can see. Trailer here is okay, much smaller, with Airfix and Esci figures. Another stand is over there from SHQ, another Brigade command stand. Then you have the Reconnaissance. You have here Major Gau's Reconnaissance unit, famous for the Arnhem battle. Most of them were ambushed and destroyed, but even so, it's a very famous action of the Market Garden campaign. What happened at Volfeza, I mean, and that area, and that surrounded area. In fact, put this unit into almost complete destruction. These are again the adaptations of the Airfix, NATO, Hasegawa Jeeps. These ones have a Vickers K machine gun at the front. Figures were heavily converted to fit into, as you can see, this is for the guy with the brand gun. Is Esci, but as you can see, his legs were completely whether cut out or even probably made new legs from milliput or something like that. These are the reconnaissance jeeps. You have a number of them here. You have a command jeep here with radio, of course. And is it what this thing here at the front is? Probably telephone wire, probably. Yeah. Major Gao is sitting here to the side of the driver, of course, to the right side of the driver. This time, of course, the British had to drive their jeeps, I mean, the American way, not to the left, of course. And one of them, that you can see, is pulling the Polston 20mm gun with Esci art plastic and soft plastic, and also some Airfix crew. This is completely scratch built also. And there's also a motorcycle that comes in this first Market Garden book, and this is a famous Airfix bike that comes in I don't know if it is in the desert outpost, something like that. I don't know. Painted to look like a paratrooper. You also have the Tetrarchs of the 6th Airborne Division. These ones are for Normandy, of course. You can also use them in Madagascar together with some Valentines. So it's not that unuseful, this model, this tank model, and it is, besides, very cute. Of course, it's a cutie. There is a commander, which is the Airfix barretted commander with some headphones, and then this is very straightforward because this is a 3D model printed in resin. It came from Italy, from Assymetrical Wargaming. Very fast service and very nice people also. The gliders. The gliders. This is a big Amelker glider, completely scratch built in blue board and wood. Something relatively big, together with also something that is not that small, comparing one to the other. At least in length, is not. There isn't a big difference. I think in the original size, the Amelker is something like 1 meter longer than the Orsa. So the Orsa is also something very big. Here they are. And this is obviously the Italeri kit. There are 3 of them in different shapes of landing. This one, of course, this one it was the best pilot probably, so it landed perfectly. But this one, I mean, well, was not that lucky, or was not that that privileged in terms of talent. This one also a little bit the case. So then I make this dioramas in order to spread some debris that comes from the like wheels and things like that. Distracted struts also, which makes some makes it, I think, this stands more lively. I think everything is shown, but two things: the figures and those buildings over there. So let's go to the figures. Figures are almost entirely, there are a few metal by SHQ, very few, but the battalions are made mostly of Esci, Revell, and some, especially for the support weapons, some Airfix. Also, the radio man from Airfix is also very very useful. It's one of the few figures that is useful for the companies, for the regular companies. For instance, there is no Vickers. No, there's no plastic paratrooper Vickers. So I made my own. I used Vickers from, for instance, from Valiant or from Airfix, as I'll show you. The third figure, this one here, is Revell, but the others are Airfix converted into the number 1 and number 2 of the Vickers MMGs. Here the guy that is with his open arms had his arms heated up to the moment that he is able to hold the machine gun. My way of making 2-inch mortars, also very simple. Small tube with a small cover, hanging by a thread, and this is it. This is the 2-inch mortar. And then there are also some of the Piats, just for fun. They are I used the Revell Infantry, which has some smocks, and they look a lot with the paratroopers smock. So with a new head by Airfix, they became paratroopers. But originally they are infantry. More ways how to do the MMGs and also the mortars. From this first mortar, again, you see almost everything. You see this guy here is Airfix. This one here is Esci, and this one here is Revell. And there are conversions around the 3-inch mortar given in the Valiant, little bit big, as everybody knows, in the Valiant 20mm box of British infantry. Okay. More ways to make this kind of dioramas, small dioramas, because they all become different. It is something I like a lot to do, to make different stands. As the regular infantry, regular paratroopers are not, they can't be that different, even if there is at least 2 brands almost in all stands. At least on the support weapons, you can make plenty of changes, which makes the these stands different. Each one is different from the other. These are some of my last ones. Again, the Airfix figures. This one to the left here is holding the ammo box. There is the number 1 firing the gun. There is another one, the Revell, and there is even a water cooling device made by a piece of thread into a piece of plastic, and also the ammunition box over there. And these machine guns are Airfix, okay, from the 8th Army box. Air landing, it was really the last one I've made. This one is has even some extra changes. For instance, like the guy that is this number 2 operator is an ex-radio man. The guy operating firing the vehicles, the number 1, is he was previously, in his previous life, of course, was holding a Sten. Now his arms were changed a little bit, as you can see, and he's firing the Vickers MMG. and more of the same. Some a bit of sight from the regular companies. I call it regular companies because I should not call them infantry companies, right? As they are paratroopers or glider-borne troops, they are not infantry. So what should I call them? Well, you know what I mean, okay? Regarding figures, I think everything is shown. There is still the engineers. Engineers are, most of them are normal figures, but the three of the stands, this guy here holding the flamethrower is coming from Hat Industries British support box, something like that. I think they have mortars and machine guns and flamethrowers and brands and things like that. It's one or two, one for MGs, another for mortars. I don't know if they are separated or I really can't remember. I mean, if they are separated, I have both. So they came from one of them, or they came from the only one that exists. And one final note for something that I didn't show you yet, which is the days in which I had a very good sight. My sight is still okay, but my patience is not. So nowadays I try to make everything a little bit quickly. But on these days I was having, I don't know why. I was not having more time, but I don't know. I was more precise, more detailed. And this is I think, a quite nice Pegasus bridge. It gave me lots of pleasure because it took me hours in the days of the beginning of the internet. This bridge was maybe made some 20 years ago. There was already plenty of information on the net. Funnily enough, information that nowadays I can't find. Somehow, I mean, sometimes you change your computer, all that information that is inside goes away, and then somehow you lose track of the information that you found in the past. And it happens a lot. Maybe the information nowadays on the internet is so much that you need to dive to such an extension, to certain extent, into the information that you really can't find what you already found in the past. But it is I made it with plastic card, with those electric plastics, also from works in this house. Of course, blue board, also wood for the ramp, obviously, and it became, I think, cute and approximate to what I wanted. And finally, Café Gondry, of course, which was also something that I enjoyed a lot. Looking for all these details, all this small avancée, as the French call it, to the front, which I took from period pictures of the 40s, still with French customers before the Major Frost's landing nearby. So it is also something that gave me a lot of pleasure to build. And this is it. I think everything is shown about these crazy people that jump from planes. And not only these ones, but the Americans, the Russians, the Germans that I already showed you. Incredible people for me. These are, I don't know how I can do it. I think that sometimes when I'm inside a plane and I think, well, if this thing crashes, if they give me parachute, what would you do? I don't know. Frankly, I don't know. I think I would sit. The plane would go down. I would ask one more coffee from the lady, those nice ladies that cross the corridors, and probably I wouldn't jump because I don't know if I could do it. No, I don't know. I also hope never to be put to test. Obviously, no need for that. Okay, everything is shown. Enjoy your rapid fire armies. If you don't play rapid fire, enjoy your miniatures and enjoy making models, not war. Thank you so much, and see you next in the next video. Bye bye.